Your knees hurt on leg day. Should you be training? Well, the short answer is yes. Let's get into it. Because of this massive bump on my knee, which has now developed into patellar tendinopathy or tendonitis, I've had to make sure I can still train legs and make sure leg day can work for me. And that has helped me a huge amount. So I'm gonna share what I've learned for you to hopefully get you through the next leg day. By the end of today's video, no matter the cause of your knee pain, you will know how to A, train through it, and B, get rid of it. And no, sorry Jeff and Will, it doesn't help doing hamstrings first, at least not for getting rid of it. My name's Peter, and I'm a qualified and still practicing physiotherapist, so knee pain is right up my alley. Now I know you haven't injured your knee necessarily, but it still hurts when you squat, so something's not right. And in order for you to get rid of it, you need to know the mechanics as to why it's happening. Quick disclaimer, if you've had surgery or are about to have surgery because of a severe knee injury, do your protocol. This does not apply to you, but for everyone else, we're good to go. Let's understand the why. And in order to do that, I've nicked a knee. We need to understand exactly why your knee hurts. And most of the time, there's no actual issue with the knee itself. It's either gonna be coming from the foot or ankle below, and adapting and moving this bone, or it's going to come from the hip above, which is going to move the top bit. The knee, although be it complex, is often the site of symptom and not the site of the problem. It could also relate to your kneecap tracking or patellofemoral pain syndrome, although research shows this is a lot less common than us physios like to diagnose. We love a patellofemoral pain syndrome diagnostic, by the way, although it's not often the case. If you want to test which one's yours, I've actually made a whole video ages ago showing you exactly how to tell if it's your hip or if it's your ankle, and I'll link that straight after this one. Let's say you do have a small injury and it is your meniscus, or like me, it's your patellar tendon, or it could even be your ACL that you haven't opted to have surgery. So the blue thing, although in real life it's not actually blue, is your meniscus. Your ACL is that ligament inside the knee. I don't know if you can see it, but it stops movement forward of your shin bone, limits that. It could be anything with the knee. This video applies for all of it. It's leg day and we're in the gym. Where do you start? Now, you have to look at the type of movements that you're after. Obviously, we have to squat, and then we eventually have to get on that hack squat, right? So to start off, we need to shift the emphasis from our knees to our hips. The easiest way to do that on the squat is by using a low bar squat. So as you can see on the low bar squat here, the knee is not bending nearly as much as the high bar, and you're getting more bend at the hips. Now this will shift some of the focus. Trust me, your quads are still working. There's no such thing as VMO amnesia or glute amnesia. That stuff needs to get in the bin straight away. So if we can shift the focus from our knees to our hips and we're not going into that compression, the knees are going to be happier. Now you're wondering, can you do this to the leg press? The answer is yes, it's really simple. So you move your feet down. Now you can see my ankle mobility limiting me. You'll see how much more my knees are going to be bending compared to with my feet higher up and then coming back. Can you see the difference there? My quads are still working, but there's less forward drive of my knee and less compression at my knee, so therefore it's going to be less painful. If your knee is really painful and you're struggling to do this and you feel your other leg doing all the work, make sure you go to single leg. Mine flares up all the time, and when it does, I do no double leg movements. So just single leg press and quite high up, where you go as much as you can, push as much weight as you can without it hurting. A bit of discomfort, absolutely fine. We want a little bit of discomfort, right? But we don't want that sharp, nasty pain that you tend to get with this sort of movement. If everything we've just done is still too painful, what can you do? You can switch on your glutes with this band. No, I'm only kidding. Guys, this is not switching on your glutes. What it's doing, so get your feet up nice and high, drive out with your knees. Yes, you might feel your glutes a little bit, but what that is gonna do might just take your pain away. And the way in which this works, my best way of describing it, is it helps your hips stabilize by pushing into something. If you were to do a single leg heel raise, you'd wobble all over the place, right? But if you do that heel raise holding on, it's a lot more stable. This is like holding on for your hips, provides that wall to push against to create some stability, and that should translate into less knee pain. This is the principle why Will and Jeff, especially Will, feels better knees after doing hamstring curls. Your hamstrings have a pump, your knee's been slightly loaded, creating that little bit of stability, but it's not going to fix your issue. The dreaded leg extension that you've seen on YouTube is gonna break your knees. Guys, you have to do the leg extension. There is no danger to your meniscus, that has all been debunked. It's just how you do it. So if your knee is really sore, go up with both legs, take your good leg off, and just control the way down. If it's not too bad, go up and down slowly, just with the sore side. Then you can go up quick and slow down, and eventually when you can do the same number of reps in the same amount of time, then you can go on to double leg. So you can do all the non-knee compression, so not the knee compression stuff, absolutely pain-free. Where to next? Well, the answer's simple, the step back lunge. As you can see, when I'm going into that step back lunge, my knee is staying behind my toe. Now, the knee over toes guy might be onto something, but strengthening your tib and to solve your knee pain, that's utter rubbish. This step back lunge will allow some more quad dominance, more quad loading, but not full knee compression. And you guessed it, the next one is a step forward lunge. So next up, you can do step back lunges pain-free. Where do we go? And the answer is a step forward lunge. Now, if you look carefully, you can see my knee is now pushing directly over my toe, and we're getting a lot more knee compression. Not full knee compression, but a lot more than we have done. So when you can do the forward lunge pretty much pain-free, again, discomfort's fine, this is when you start lowering your feet down on the leg press or trying a pendulum squat, testing the waters with a hack squat, and then doing your high bar squat where we start introducing slight more knee compression. Now, when you can do the step forward lunge, then we go on to the world's best exercise, or at least one of my favorite, the Bulgarian split squat. Now, this is gonna push you into slightly more knee compression, and you're gonna have a lot more weight on the front foot. The key here, guys, do not use the bench. That bench is far too high. It's gonna take a lot of your weight on the back foot, and that back leg's gonna be helping out. A step is perfect, or if you don't have a step, put a couple of plates down. Now this one, I've had to leave the weight alone because this still currently hurts my knee because it had a bit of a flare up. The deficit Bulgarian split squat. So, same thing, barbell, dumbbell, or if you like me, no weight. And we're gonna drop down, and as you can see now, we're getting that maximal knee compression as far as you can get pretty much, and then pushing up. Once you can do this, then you can go on to the Milo Wolf and Jeff Nippert favorite, the reverse Nordic. Now I can do the reverse Nordics, which is a great exercise, loading under length, loading the most in the lengthened position. But for this one, I don't want you to feel anything in your knee itself. This I want you to feel in your quads only. If you're feeling this in your knee, go back a step, right? When I go back, yes, I can go back all the way, full compression, but I'm feeling it right over that tendon, which is thick and sore. So I'm not ready for this one just yet. So quick recap to get rid of your knee pain. We've got to start off with maximum hip bend and minimum knee bend, and slowly work our way to having a maximum knee compression or knee bend and a minimal hip bend. Now guys, when it comes to stabilizing the hip, it will come with the lunges, it will come with the Bulgarian split squats. All those single leg stability exercises will build the hip up enough that you don't need to go and do accessory stabilizers. If you really want to, do some side planks. Don't waste your time with bands, just get into a side plank. That's probably the best stability exercise you can do. But in all honesty, get to the lunge as quick as possible. Do some single leg stuff on there, on the leg press, I just said there, but leg press, and that will strengthen your glutes enough for you not to have to do it independently. The knee, albeit a complicated joint, the way in which we fix it is through exercise and loading. So not only can you train through knee pain, you must. So if you want to know exactly what's wrong with your knee, watch this video. And if you want to just strengthen your legs overall perfectly, watch this video. Until then guys, we'll catch you in the next one.